It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. I grew up on the original games and have sunk hundreds of hours into them individually. I grew up on the original anime and went and saw the first 3 movies in theaters. I've even been to stores designed around those adorable little creatures, and I once dabbled in the Pokemon trading card game. And then I realized how hard it was and that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was going to be a much more entertaining game. So when the Pokemon anime came to America, you just know I was glued to my seat in front of the family TV at 6:30 every Saturday morning, making sure I watched every episode from start to finish. And then I get older. Once the anime hit the advanced generation in 2002, I was already 10 and had more important things to do on my Saturday mornings, like watch Transformers, Robots in Disguise, and Power Rangers Wild Force. Wild Force was badass. With my history of Pokemon, you'd assume that I knew about every commercial and promo that came from all the Pokemania. This might shock you, but while I was browsing our local savers, I came across a Pokemon VHS tape that I'd never seen before. And surprise, surprise, this was no ordinary VHS. This is the 1998 Pokemon Toys R Us promotional VHS. From the little I could find about this, it was apparently sent out by Nintendo in the summer of '98 to tease the Pokemon franchise, giving details about the plot of the anime, the merch, and the first look at the upcoming red and blue versions due out later that year. And much like any VHS promo from the 90s, it's jam-packed with catchy marketing and cringy live-action vignettes. Ah yes, my favorite part of the 1990s! The absolutely terrible acting. It also seems like there was another version of this tape that didn't feature any Toys R Us branding, but I legitimately can't find any information on differences outside of a line at the end calling Toys R Us the Pokemon headquarters. If you know of any other differences between the two, hit me up in the comments and let me know. So before we dive into the contents of this tape, let's take a brief second and look at the packaging. On the front, we see the marketing machine at work with the "Gotta Catch 'Em All" and "Gotta Watch This Now" slapped onto the cover. If I had found this in my mailbox when I was 6, you just know that this tape wouldn't have been in this good of condition. It'd be absolutely destroyed because I would have watched it over and over and over again, much to the detriment of my parents. And of course, our heroes are featured prominently as well, with Ash, Misty, Pikachu, and a slightly lighter skin-toned Brock than we got in animation. Flipping the case over, we get some nice artwork of the Gen 1 cuties, with Coughing just chilling in the background. And of course, the massive Toys R Us logo is slapped right into the upper corner, staring into my soul, asking me why, oh why, did I not buy more Pokemon and Transformers from my local Toys R Us when it was still around? I could have helped prevent their sudden but inevitable demise. If only I had bought more Pokemon and... Sorry. That's clearly the capitalism at work. And when it works, it works. I just want to talk real quick for a second about the nostalgia behind the multicolored Toys R Us logo. There's just something that sparks joy in my heart seeing the backwards R and the multiple, like I said, the multiple colors on the logo. I know Toys R Us hasn't been around in the United States for a while, and I think it's just chilling out up in Canada, but with the amount of adult collectors that there are now that grew up on, you know, Transformers, Robots in Disguise, and He-Man, and all the Lego Bionicle and things like that, Toys R Us could make a huge comeback if it was just an adult-friendly, I had to think of the word there, an adult-friendly toy store, not just a toy store for kids, but one where like adults could go and buy the collectibles that they really like. I mean, that's why Star Wars is doing so huge right now. They're doing those retro releases where it's in the old Kenner brand packaging. And I just think that's really cool. I think that would be a huge thing if it could come back.
You've been selected to receive the sneak peek about a phenomenon called Pokémon, a hit TV show, a Game Boy game, and loads of other cool things that are about to take America by storm!
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all! A sneak peek at Pokemon.
So it's really cool that Veronica Taylor clearly made some new lines for this, talking about the Game Boy game and all the Pokemania. I just find that really impressive that they went that far with something that was just a in-the-mail promo.
Pokemon, the journey's just begun. Pokemon, more the better.
Dear God, the Pokemon dance mix. This is something that has just been ingrained in my head for years from the To Be a Master soundtrack. I absolutely adored that soundtrack when it came out. I think I had it on CD or the cassette version. So that was always playing in my room when I was a child, playing Pokemon on my Game Boy. By the way, did anyone else know that Pokemon Red and Blue had 2 different intros? One that I remembered growing up was Gengar versus Jigglypuff, but I didn't realize until later that there was also Gengar versus Nidorino, and now my mind is just like blown. This sizzle reel would have been enough for me to be begging my parents to buy me anything Pokemon branded. Thank God I didn't see it until almost 15 years later.
It all starts with the TV show September 7th. My nephew, Ash, he just turned 10, is the show's star.
So apparently this is Ash's Aunt Hillary. Her hobbies include painting her kitchen and appliances monocolor, framing huge photos of her anime nephew, and mispronouncing Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Is she Delia's sister? His absent father's sister? Who knows? But she's only ever mentioned in this promo, so she's clearly going to be so important to the story moving forward.
Caterpie, counterattack!
It's really cool to see these early clips of Pokemon before they ever aired. They look and sound exactly the same as when they aired, but it makes me wonder how many episodes they actually had put into production and had ready to go before they even launched the first episode. You know, did they have the entire first season done or something like that?
And are you ready for this? There are 150 of them, and you gotta catch them all.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Nintendo absolutely knew what they were doing with these songs and phrases. Like, hearing it being repeated over and over like this is just, honest to God, it makes me want to start playing Pokemon Blue again. Like, right now.
Pokemon! Zubat, Primate, Meowth, Onix, Geodude, Rapidos, Magneton.
Wait, hold on a second, hold on. Did they say Rapidos?
Rapidos.
I had to go back and check, writing this video by the way, to make sure that they didn't do that at any other point. In the actual Pokerap that is published on the To Be a Master soundtrack and in the show, they had it right. They had Rapidash right. So this is like one very rare flub up, and I absolutely love it.
Wait, there's more.
Well, there's Brock. He's a good guy.
Apparently Ash has cousins too. Too bad this is the only time we ever hear about them. I do love that Brock gets his entire episode spoiled, while Misty and Team Rocket get an entire section of the promo just dedicated entirely to them.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse.
James.
Remember when Team Rocket was actually mustache-twirlingly evil and not just a public nuisance? Wait a minute, hold on, that's not James's original voice actor. Yeah, apparently this is actor Ted Lewis, who only voiced James from episode 2 to episode 8, before being replaced by the voice actor that we all know and love, Eric Stewart.
The Pokemon craze is sweeping the world. I want the 3 of you to catch me the rarest of all Pokemon.
This moment where Giovanni is talking about Pokemon being this craze that's sweeping the world, they had no idea how right they were going to be.
Does anyone else know of our plans?
Only a bunch of kids who were lucky enough to get their hands on this video.
Well, if they don't play the Game Boy game or watch the TV show, they'll never catch Pikachu.
God damn, capitalism works.
I was glad to find out that Ash's first Pokemon was in fact little Pikachu.
So yeah, this is Mr. Carlson, Ash's science teacher apparently. The actor in this seems to be having the most fun out of every other actor.
These little cheeks unleash electric potential and electromotive forces equal to the difference of a constant current of 1,000 amperes.
So young me would definitely have just heard this guy speaking science mumbo jumbo. Adult me totally understands this now and realizes how dangerous Pikachu actually is.
What I like best about Ash and Pikachu though is how they bonded. Loyalty. Now there's a quality you can't teach in the classroom.
Was Ash and Pikachu's bond built on loyalty? I kind of thought it was built on Ash sacrificing himself to a bunch of pigeons.
The strategy. To become a great trainer, Ash has to capture all of these amazing Pokemon creatures. And there's a lot he's got to know in order to catch them all.
Gotta catch 'em all.
That's why Professor Oak gave him his first Pokédex. I need to upgrade my model.
I am Dexter, personal Pokédex programmed by Professor Oak for the exclusive use of Ash Ketchum.
Oh look, it's Dexter! I actually really miss Dexter as the Pokedex. Also, it's very interesting to note, Dexter in the anime was already built with info on every species known at the time, but in Red and Blue version, you had to capture them to fill out the data of the Pokedex. I just think that's a really interesting comparison.
Geodudes are really tough.
I'm partial to the fire element monsters.
People eat Magikarp?
This is a Pokeball.
Capturing a Pokemon takes real skill.
That's why so many of us just spam Pokeballs. We're really skilled.
Do I think he's got what it takes to be a Pokemon master? Yes. Yes, I do. I think Ash can cut it.
Mr. Carlson might be one of the only people in the world who actually believed in Ash.
To become a great Pokemon trainer, Ash must catch as many as possible by battling his own Pokemon against the other. Once the Pokemon has been weakened in the battle, Ash can catch it within a Pokeball. The captured Pokemon become loyal to Ash,
Except when they're Charmeleon.
who must choose the correct type of Pokemon to use when battling with another. Nintendo Power Magazine has a 36-page insert. The next 6 issues will have them.
Good God, look at those original Nintendo Power issues. I find it really neat that they had 2 whole issues dedicated to Pokemon Red and Blue like this. Like, that's... I don't own these, but I absolutely want to.
Both versions, red and blue.
Oh shoot, looks like I'm gonna need to talk about Pokemon Red and Blue for its 25th anniversary this year. Wink, wink, wink.
And that's not all.
This is Pocket Pikachu. I can exercise with it, give it gifts.
I didn't realize Pocket Pikachu came out with, you know, Red and Blue version. I thought they came out closer to Gen 2. I never had one, so I don't actually know.
I don't think so.
This is a Pokemon strategy card game.
That is a Pokemon card from Japan. So, like, did they not have the Pokemon trading card game ready for the United States when they were shooting this promo?
Oh, that must be the Pokecar. And be sure to watch out for it, too. 10 Pokecars will be cruising around giving away lots of free stuff.
A Pokemon car came to Ohio? I didn't live in Ohio when this was happening, but I really wish I did. I can't find video of it anywhere. I can't find photos. If anyone knows about this, please link me to assets.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Remember, it's about strategy.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Remember, you gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Remember, it's about capitalism.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
I would really have loved a stat on how well this did for Pokemania in general. Like, if this came out now, if this kind of a promo happened now for something new like Pokemon, you'd have built so much hype. And just the sheer amount of excitement about something like this would have been incredibly palpable. I just had some things fall out of the VHS, by the way. I want to give some last looks. The first one is a schedule for what channel Pokemon is going to be on in your city. Around where I grew up, it would have been on at 7:30 a.m. The other thing that's in here is this little Nintendo Power insert. It is separated, unfortunately, but you open it up and get a free Pokemon Player's Guide, like the original Pokemon Player's Guide. All you had to do was fill out your information and send it on this little card to Nintendo's P.O. box. And then there's on the back a picture of a Nintendo Power and some really, really good Ken Sugimori artwork of Gengar. Like, that's just absolutely beautiful. You know, this was a really good find. I don't find a lot of good things at Savers, except for just, you know, the rare random VHS from time to time. So I am really happy that I was able to find this and talk about this. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a wonderful look at the Pokemon promo from 1998. This has also been a bit different of an episode of this series. Normally I like to script everything out, but I felt like it might be more interesting to sit down, actually watch the video for, in this case, the 3rd time, and kind of commentate on it as I went. If you like that, let me know. If you like the more scripted style of the other 2 videos, which are going to be in a card above and also on the end slate, let me know. But other than that, I will see you next time, and as always, please be kind and rewind.